Welcome to Let the Quran Speak. Many people who are watching their television screens and scrolling social media are feeling a sense of helplessness and despair as they look at the images and videos before them of children being killed, of buildings being demolished, of Palestinians being deprived of their basic rights. I'm here with Dr. Shabir. Dr. Shabir, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Pleasure to be on.
You know, Dr. Shabir, there are many Palestinians who are living outside who are feeling a sense of real despair and helplessness. But not just that, there are Muslims, there are Arabs, and there are concerned people all over the world who are worried and looking on and seeing that world leaders are not doing anything to solve the situation, and they don't even seem to care or even seem to be concerned about what's going on with Palestinians in Gaza. And so it's leading to a sense of hopelessness, anxiety. People are unable to work, unable to sleep. So what is your advice, Dr. Shabir? And is there any advice within the Quran that can kind of help us move forward in these dark times?
Yeah. So first, at a very practical level, we can see that the opinions are shifting now. After October 7th, people were reeling from the immediate attack and thinking, okay, Israel has to defend itself. And they did not calculate and foresee the cost in terms of human lives for that retaliation. And now we're seeing it on the ground. Humanitarian workers are there reporting from the scenes of destruction. The tallies are rising of the number of deaths, especially the deaths of children. And you're right, it doesn't take a Palestinian, it doesn't take an Arab, it doesn't take a Muslim. It just takes a human being to see that this is too much. And, our Christian friends in particular will know how much Jesus spoke about the children. Let the children come to me. So when we think about the Palestinian children now, he was talking about Palestinian children 2,000 years ago. And now Palestinian children are being killed in such large numbers. More children have been killed in Palestine during this present conflict than have been killed in wars throughout the world globally in a whole year. So this is too much, and public opinion is now shifting. People are realizing that we have gone too far with this. The war has to stop. I'll never forget the words of a young woman who bravely called out to the Prime Minister of Canada saying, how many more Palestinian children will have to die before you call for a ceasefire? So more and more people are realizing that we have to call for a ceasefire. We have to bring this to an end. And we see that God will intervene and bring everything to an end if people do not intervene. But people themselves will intervene and come to their senses and bring this matter to an end. In the meantime, the devastation is still real. The number of children killed is still a fact. And not only children, but women and men, people who are just simply trapped in Gaza. They're not responsible for what happens there. They're just victims of that situation. They have been locked in the world's largest open-air prison. And the bombs are dropping on them. They were told to move from north to south, but there's really nowhere to go. And bombs are dropping almost everywhere. And to give a quick warning and say, leave your homes, leave everything behind, because your property is going to be bombed. It's not realistic to expect that people will suddenly vacate their premises, leave all their belongings behind, and go into a nowhere zone, wherever having no accommodation, people crowding into homes, small apartments housing dozens of people, and so on. Because one of the interesting things about Gazans is their hospitality. Despite their meager means, they're very hospitable people, and those who feel relatively safer are so willing to accommodate more people, complete strangers, into their homes. But more to your point about the despair that people are feeling, God promises us in the Quran that He's always there for us, and He will not test the people with that which they are not able to bear. And when Muslims in particular suffer in this world, we believe that there is a reward stored up for us in the life hereafter. So all is not lost. If we count things in terms and we tally in terms of the loss of human lives and crops and property and building and so on, then yes, we will see that there has been a terrible loss. We can count these in billions of dollars, and the number of lives, obviously, which is precious and unquantifiable in terms of monetary amount. But God is promising us that we will have a reward in the life hereafter for every suffering that we endure in this life that is not of our own doing, and that we endure with patience. A hadith puts it nicely, saying, "Ajaban li amr al-mu'min." The situation of the believer is really wonderful, such that if good befalls the believer thanks God and is rewarded for that. And if some harm afflicts the believer, even to the extent that a thorn pricks a person's toe, but that person is patient in this situation of harm, that person gets a reward with God. So as long as one is patient. So we have to exercise patience. We have to put our trust in God. We have to reach out to God for his help and assistance, and ultimately know that God has a reward stored up for us in the life hereafter.
And of course, Dr. Shabir, God wants us to do good and be part of the good in our society wherever we are, right? Because there is good. There is good that exists, and we should contribute towards that good in whatever way we can.
Yes, and one of the best things that Muslims can do in this present time is to educate their non-Muslim friends and colleagues, co-workers, classmates, the world about the history of Gaza. Because a lot of people think that the history started with October 7th. We have to let them know that it actually goes back all the way to 1917, when land that did not belong to the British was given to other people to whom it did not belong, taking it away from the people to whom it belonged. And that is the start of a whole series of conflicts and wars that have been with us for more than 100 years. So people need to know that history. And finally, if I can add one little thing, Safiyyah, we talked about all of the loss of lives and so on, but from a Muslim point of view, these lives are not permanently lost. We make a transition from this life into the life hereafter. And if one is killed unjustly in this life, one ends up, especially in the case of the children, as the little birds of paradise. So we have a glimmer of hope, knowing that in the life hereafter, we will see the blessings that we were robbed of in this life.
Thank you for that, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
We have some exciting news to share with you.
As you know, Let the Quran Speak has been on TV screens and social media for 22 years.
We've been reaching people all around the world, spreading positivity and good, and helping people experience the beauty of Islam and the accomplishments of Muslims.
We've been shooting in this very space for the past 2 decades.
And now, with the help of Allah, we're about to get the keys to Muslim Media Hub.
If you like what we're doing, you're gonna love Muslim Media Hub even more.
Because it's the next step up.
Think new TV shows, podcasts, social media content, and film.
We'll have new talent, more youth, and a lot more space and resources to do what we love. Spread the message of Allah.
Our Muslim Media Hub costs $2.4 million.
And for that, we need to raise $300,000. Please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help establish Muslim Media Hub so we can do this.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be of benefit to the Muslim community long after we are gone.
Thank you, and may Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always.
Assalamu alaikum.